we're getting wrapped up from the duck season, and everybody's retrievers are a little rusty, and so are we, and tired. Now, what's some tips that you can do to keep your dog good during the off season and get him back ready for next year? There's a couple things that happen to these retrievers during the duck season, because we as duck hunters get lazy with our dogs, and the dogs get lazy with us. It's just part of the game. Couple of things that happen. One, dogs start breaking, and we stop correcting them for it. Two, dogs stop taking straight lines, and we don't care. Three, they start popping and looking for help and stop not worrying about your whistles anymore. And we usually let it go as long as they're finding birds. Well, there's a couple easy drills we can do to fix this. So the first drill, we call it the technology drill. Everybody is guilty of this. When you get home from work, you pull this out, and you're doing this, or you're on the phone talking. Well, guess what? That's a training opportunity for you. So what I do is I put the dog at place on a stand just like me and you are hunting. And then I'll take some bumpers in my hand, and I'll get on the phone and start talking to my buddy and ignoring the dog, and then I'll just go quack, 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 pow, and keep talking to my buddy and just hanging out. And we'll do this for 20, 30 minutes. I'm playing on Facebook or whatever, and then I'll just throw random bumpers and just sit there, not paying attention to him, but I have my collar in my hand just in case he decides to move. Now, the point of this drill is to keep the dog honest. In the duck blind, a lot of the time, we're not watching him. So it's up to him to be honest. Ducks will come in and we're working the calls and we're getting ready to shoot, and we're not eyes on the dog all the time. So this drill allows us to talk, play on the phone, be distracted from him. He needs to pay attention to what's going on, and he needs to be honest on his own. So now after about 30 minutes, I'll let him fetch a couple of these bumpers. But for right now, we're gonna make him sit. Now you can do this on your couch while you're watching the football game. You can do this anywhere, on the back of your tailgate while you're drinking a few beers with buddies. This is a great drill, and if you do this a couple times a week, you're gonna have a really nice steady dog. All right guys, so he sat steady while we sat here, so we're gonna let him pick one up. Ready? Solo. Good deal, good boy. That a good boy. All right, hold, drop. All right, and that's it. But this is where it becomes key. If that dog breaks, he retrieves no bumpers in that training session. You go pick him up. If he sits steady and honest and you didn't have to tell him anything, he gets the chance to make his retrieves. That's the key. He's got to earn it. All right, this is our second drill. This drill is called line to pile. There's a couple reasons for this. Number one, when we duck hunt, a lot of times our dog's lining abilities on blind retrieves gets compromised. So what this does is it teaches these dogs that they have to get back on their game and run straight lines when we ask them to, because it's crucial. Because let's look at a scenario. We're hunting, we're having a good time, a pair of mallards comes in. We jump up and we shoot the drake and we shoot the hen. The hen goes down dead in the decoys, the drake sails about 80 yards, cripple. We need that dog to ignore that dead bird in the decoys and line to that cripple. So we need the ability to take that dog and turn him, heel, and line him up where we want him to go, so that we can get him off that dead bird and line him up to the bird that needs to be picked up first. Basically, the way we set it up is there are going to be 3 piles. The dog knows where the 3 piles are, and we're going to run them pretty much 3 times a week. And what we're going to do is the first pile, we want it to be a long pile. Second pile, we want it to be shorter, and the third pile, we want it to be longer than the first. So what this does is it teaches that dog, and we're going to use our voice to tell him about how far he's going to be running. So if I just go dead bird back real softly, he's not running that far. But if I go dead bird back, then he knows, oh God, we got to go, and don't check up, it's far. And that kind of gets us to be a working team. Another thing too is dogs get lazy on a cast. So when they go on a line, and we give them a back cast, they might go 10 or 15 feet and then start hunting again. Well, with this drill, if I stop that dog on a 140-yard line at 30 yards and I give him that good hard right back cast, he's gonna take it and run the distance because he knows where he's going. So that's gonna get that dog used to running a long back cast, and that's gonna help us in the field with every time we hunt. All right guys, so we're gonna do this first retrieve, which is probably about 140 something yards. So we're gonna line the dog up, back. Job, that's a good dog. All right, now we've sent this dog to that line, drop. So he knows where he's going, and we've done this drill a lot of times with this dog. He's done it before. So it's a confidence builder for working for you and him in a team environment. He knows where he's headed, and you're telling him to go there, so he's gonna start trusting you more. All right, so we ran that one was 146 yards. Now we're gonna run the middle one. Now this one's a little bit shorter, so now we're not gonna speak to him as loudly as I did that time. So we're just gonna line him up. Good boy, right there. Where's your bird? Back. Here. Good. Heel. Sit. Now you noticed on that one, I said back very, very, very softly. So that tells him it's there, but it's not that far. Whereas on the other one, I said it a little bit louder. All right, we're gonna run our last leg. This one's the longest of all of them. It's about 220 yards. So what we're gonna do when we send him is we're gonna amp up our volume level and let him know he's gonna push it. All right, so line him up. Ready? Where's your bird? Dead bird. Back! Atta dog. Here. Right here. Good. Yeah. Drop. Sit. All right, once again, you saw how loud I said back. That teaches him that we got to drive it when I get that loud on it. Let's say we're in a snow goose field and we got a bird that went down at 300 or 400 yards. We need him to run and run quickly. So I'm going to really get on it and say dead bird and scream that back to let him know that, hey, don't even stop close because that sucker's far. Let him run it. All right, so this is our last drill. As we spoke before, this is a drill to teach the dogs to push past the decoys. I know a lot of the dogs probably have a couple of rusty habits about hunting the decoys. A lot of these dogs during duck season get very used to picking up ducks in the decoys because that's where most of the ducks are shot, and they start having trouble towards the end getting the dog to go past the decoys. So what we do is we set out the decoy spread. It doesn't have to be a huge decoy spread, just a dozen decoys or so, and we plant some birds out past the decoy spread to run as cold blinds. We're gonna have our duck call like we would hunting, our shotgun, and the dog, and an e-collar transmitter to be able to make corrections if need be. This is Solo. He's a little rusty from duck season, so this will be a good drill for him to get back polished up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit here like we're hunting and blow the duck call. He's ready. Act like we're shooting. Don't take your time. Just line him up. Here, 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 sit, back, back, back. All right, we got one more down. I'm gonna let him pick up this one. We shot a double. Swing him in the heel. Sit down. Good. Sit. So we shot a pair, but they're past the decoys. Now the next one's gonna be a little bit to the left on the outside of the spread. So what we're gonna do is now if that dog would have stopped and started to hunt in the decoys, a well-trained retriever that's been through a completed program, we should be able to stop him, give him a collar correction for that, and cast him out of the decoys. So it would be just a simple beep, back, nick, back. And that'll get that dog to push past them decoys and stop hunting and take their initial line that we want. So now we're gonna pick up our next bird. Heel, sit, sit, nope, right here, 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 sit, heel, sit, right here, back, back. All right, now he made a couple mistakes there and we issued a couple of corrections. And this is another mistake that's gonna happen during duck season. When we're hunting, we get lazy. So do they. So he stopped on his own. I didn't blow the whistle. If you notice, he stopped and he popped. Now, in a duck dog, he gets used to that, and we cast in the duck blind because it's just we're not paying attention. But the element of a blind retrieve is to run a straight line until they find the bird or hear a whistle blown. He didn't hear a whistle blown, he shouldn't have stopped. So when I line him up and tell him back, he should wait till he hears the whistle, and he didn't. So what I did was I stopped him on the whistle and I issued a correction on the collar and do a back nick, and then he took his cast and found his bird. Now, if you practice these drills, this particular drill at least once a week throughout the whole summer, you're gonna have a really nice lining dog through the decoys, and it'll definitely show next season. All right, guys, and if you need any questions, please feel free. We train dogs year round. Visit us at teamwildwings.com or on Facebook. Thank you.